Okay, awesome, awesome. Welcome everyone. It is 11:30, so we're going to get this thing rolling. Welcome, thank you. It is going to be my pleasure, my honor to hold this workshop for you today on how to create clients. I see some familiar faces, some new faces that I have not seen before. There are going to be more people rolling in here. We actually had about 62 people register for the original one, which was to be held 2 weeks ago. And for personal reasons, I had to delay it. So imagine of the 62, we may have a lot less than that, but that's okay because the replays are going to go out to everyone who actually did register. And so we're just going to get going for the sake of time because I want to give you guys as much. I hope everyone has a pad of paper and a pen or pencil or an extra computer or a laptop or something. And let us start. First off, what I want to know from everyone, if you could, let me open up my chat here. If you can put this into the chat, where's everyone from? Just type into the chat where are y'all from? And that'd be great. Whistler, North Van, Nova Scotia, Vancouver. We are coast to coast, Coquitlam. Awesome, awesome. Okay, I'm just gonna keep letting people in. So that's question number one. I have a few questions and we're gonna dive right into it. Question number one is, where are you from? And I know we are coast to coast, which is absolutely awesome. And I think we have some American friends coming in here as well. Anyone here? Actually, I'm looking at, yeah, everyone is right now in Canada. Okay, what industry are you in? Two questions in the chat. What industry are you in and how long have you been in business? Just throw that into the chat as well. Web design, 2 years, awesome. 7 years, 7 years. Over 10 years, awesome. Look at that. 25 years. Okay, that is awesome. So I just want to sort of get to know who we have in here. Actually, I do know most of you, which is amazing. There's going to be a lot of people watching the replay of this as well. You can play along on your own if you're watching the replay. So final question, and this is just by raise of hand. Please raise your hand if you enjoy the sales process and trying to get clients. Ronald, do you like to get clients? You like that whole sales process?
I do enjoy the process actually, and getting clients. Just not having time to do it is the issue that I have.
Okay. Fair enough. Perfect. Here's the thing. Okay, so first off, for those of you who just came in, grab a paper, pad of paper and a pen. Be ready because I'm going to ask some questions for you. It is an interactive workshop. So I'm going to go over a few housekeeping rules right now, or housekeeping things. We're going to be on for about an hour. And my intention is to get you off this workshop, out of this workshop at 12:30 Pacific time. I'm going to, if we are finished a bit early, or even if we finish on time, and there are some questions, I'll open it up to questions after. But however, throughout this whole workshop, it's going to be interactive. So I'm going to, if you do, I'll stop in between at different points and ask if you have any questions. But if you do have any questions, even when I haven't asked, just raise your virtual hand and we'll get to that question. The other thing is for everyone here and people that are watching the replay, stay till the end because there's going to be a special gift at the end of this. But you have to stay to the end and you have to watch this in its entirety if you're watching the replay, because there's going to be some trick questions possibly to prove that you actually watched it in order to get the gift. Okay, so I think you all know me, but many people watching may not. So for those of you who do not know me, yes, you can see on the screen if you hover over my name, but if you're watching the replay, actually you probably would see my name. My name is Marshall Stern. It is not a lie. That is what it says, and it is true. And basically, I've owned and led businesses, multiple businesses for over 30 years. I currently have 2 companies, 28 years sign and graphics company in Burnaby, British Columbia. And for the last 10 years, I've also been coaching and mentoring other small business owners and entrepreneurs like yourselves. This getting clients versus creating clients. Here's the deal with that. I'm going to teach you today 5 simple, if you want to call them steps, they are kind of steps. They are steps actually, but they're strategies that will help you create clients, not just get clients. And the difference is, there's a difference. When you're trying to get clients, and I know this from experience. Again, I've had my sign company for over almost 28 years and coaching for 10 years. If you're always trying to get clients, or when you're trying to get clients, you are making it about yourself. Okay? You're making it about yourself, what you can do. I do this, I help you do this, hire me, buy my product, I can help you. You're getting clients, and it's the mindset, you're getting clients. And that is the way we've done business in the past. That's the whole, 7 touches. How many no's can you get till you get to a yes? Let's just get clients. Let's close the deal, all that kind of stuff. And there's a difference when we actually create clients. Okay. Oh, actually, one thing I should mention, feel free in the chat, okay, because this is an opportunity for people to actually also connect with each other. Feel free in the chat to post who you are, not just where you're from, which I asked earlier for many of you, but how we can get a hold of you if you want to share that, or your website, or your Facebook page, Instagram stuff, whatever you want. If you want people to be able to reach out to you, put that in the chat, and then you can save the chat, and that would be awesome. So people can connect throughout. Okay, so here's the thing. Creating clients is all about the prospect. Getting clients ends up being about us. It's a mindset, and you're going to understand this as we go into the actual strategies. But creating them is more about the prospect. So grab your pad of paper and your pen or pencil or whatever you want to do to write down. Okay, I have a couple exercises I would like you to do. First one is this. Spend a couple of minutes, just a couple of minutes, who would be a hell yes client for you? Okay, like your dream client. I'm not saying necessarily, it could be your ideal client. Everyone talks about ideal client. Who would be a hell yes kind of client for you? It might be, you might not know the actual person, or it might not be a specific person that you know of, but maybe it is an industry they're in, or a position they have, or the psychographic or the demographic of that person. Who would be a hell yes type of client? So describe them as best as you can. The ones that you would love to work with, that you wake up in the morning and it's like, God, I just am so lucky to be able to do this and serve this person today. Again, it doesn't have to be a real person. If you know that person, great. But it can be sort of that whole avatar, the type of person. Just spend a couple minutes, write down whatever you can. I'll give you a couple minutes just to do that. Again, you can go back to the replay. You can watch it again. We're going to get into the actual strategies soon, but there's a reason why we're doing this part first. Okay, so I'll repeat it. Who would be a hell yes client? If you're in B2B or B2C, it doesn't matter. If you're a product-based business or a service-based business, it doesn't matter. We all have someone, if you think about it, who would be a dream client. Almost, here's another way of putting it. If you could do whatever you do, I know most of you in here that I know of right now, you're in service-based businesses. Some of you might be in product-based. But if you could do it for free, would you still do it for that client? Forgetting about the actual, your expenses, your lifestyle, forget about that for a second. Who would you work with for free because you just love everything that client brings to the table? They just light you up. That might help you look at it in a different way. Okay, I'll give you another minute or so here. And again, if you don't know who that hell yes type of client would be for you, think about it as we go through this, because there's going to be other questions. And when I get into the strategies, it's going to start to come full circle for you. This might be an easier one. So the first one was, who's a hell yes? My second question, who's a hell no? What's the type of client that there's just no way you would want to work with them? Again, maybe it's someone you actually know, but describe them. Or if you don't know them, describe what you don't want to work with. So for me, the hell yes type of client would be someone who is growth oriented, passionate, driven to grow their business, willing to do the work, as they say in the coaching industry, coachable, right? They're not know-it-alls. They actually want to take guidance and try different things. And then the hell no person for me would be the opposite, which would be someone who knows everything and doesn't do anything. You can teach them whatever, help them in whatever area, and they just won't do anything. And they're just not committed. And I can go on and on and on, but that's the idea. Those are sort of psychographics. Because I think for most of us, it's probably more psychographics versus necessarily demographics. Now, there might be, depending on your industry, certain revenue points for type of companies you want to work with. That's great. The demographic part, maybe a little bit for me. It's people that usually are 30 to 55, sort of my end, but 30 to 55. I predominantly work with people in that area, in that range, business owners who've been in business for 3 years, at least 3 years. So just describe it as best as you can. The hell yes and the hell no. And the hell no might actually lead you, if you're not sure who the hell yes is, the hell no might actually lead you towards that hell no. Any questions so far? Or does anybody want to challenge me on anything I've said so far? Because I'm okay with that too. Okay. Again, this is a process or process, depending on where you're from. You might not have all the answers right now, but those are the two really, really big exercises to start this off. Who's a hell yes and who's a hell no client. Now, before we get into the strategies, here's the thing. This is the whole philosophy behind it, and I'm going to repeat them throughout. And if you guys have known me, most of you have been in, whether it's our Create Group Coaching Program, one-to-one coaching, or Connect and Collaborate, or Mastermind, or just seen me on Facebook, you've seen me say this stuff before. This is the philosophy of this whole creating clients. How many, actually, you can just raise your real hands here. How many of you have heard the whole ABC, always be closing? Right? Always be closing. Let's get clients, always be closing. Because that's what we're taught, especially if you go through a corporation and a training program with that company. That's usually the way it is. Always be closing. I like to change the ABCs. Always be connecting. Okay. So if you want to write that down, because these next two things are the entire philosophy over the 5 strategies we're about to get into. ABC is always be connecting. And the second philosophy that you're going to hear, we're going to talk about, is be interested. not interesting. Be interested, not interesting. And the thing with that is, so many times you see so-called experts online, especially online, that say that they've done this, they've grown their accounting firm to 7 figures. They can do it for you as well. They've grown their digital marketing firm to 6 or 7 figures. Give them $10,000, they'll do it as well. I've been on stage with Deepak Chopra and Brendan Burchard and Tony Robbins and blah, 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 because that whole credibility. That's what the normal way of the expert space runs, right? It's always, this is who I am. I have credibility, buy from me, invest with me. I can help you without even knowing what the other person's going through. No, be interested. Not interesting. Here's the thing, gang. No one cares what you actually do and how you do it. I've said that before. I'll say it again. No one really cares. I'm going to continue on that. So don't click off and say, what's this guy talking about? No one really cares what you do or how you do it. All they really care about is you understand them and you can help them. Whatever your product or service is. Now, I'm not talking about if you sell something on Amazon or Etsy necessarily, but Etsy, depending on what the product or service, or I guess the product would be. But no one really cares what you or how you do it. They care you understand them and you can help them. Okay. Does anyone disagree with me on that?
I do, Marshall.
Sorry?
I do.
Okay, please, Raz.
I understand a bit about being interested. I definitely understand that, and I think you need to listen more than you speak. But I think the way to hold a potential client or anyone is to have a little bit of something about you.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it's rather than saying be interested, not interesting, it's maybe find a balance, but make sure you're listening more than you speak, essentially.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah.
No, that's a really good point. And as I go through this, you're going to understand what I mean by that. Okay, because so here's the thing. I tell the story. Some of you may have heard it before. I go back to a lunch I had here in Vancouver at the old spaghetti factory. I don't know who's been there. This was the one in Gastown, and this was back probably in 1998 or 1999. I'm really dating myself now. I was with a guy I knew. We were not friends. He was in my friend's friend. He was a friend of a friend, but he had he was in the second year of multimedia web development company. And we met for lunch. And we were talking, and I was asking him how business was. He talked a little bit about business, and I was trying to be interested, but he turned the whole conversation around, and he was just focusing on me and asking questions about me, about my family, about my business, and he wouldn't talk about himself at all. He just kept asking questions, and he was focused, and he was authentic. And I remember the feeling I had coming out of it. Okay, and I had another friend who actually I was very good friends with, the complete opposite. Never asked you about yourself. It was always about him. It was always about how he was going to do this and he was going to do that and he was going to be successful in this, or my day was this, I closed this deal, I closed that deal. I felt like the most important person in the room. When you can make someone feel that way, the interesting part, being interesting part will come. But we need to be interested first and authentically interested. And I'm going to get into that. So yes, Raz, you make a great point. There is a balance. I'm not saying we never talk about ourselves, because at some point in the process, if it's a right fit, they're going to want to know about us and how we can help them. And that's whether you want to call it interesting or the credibility or our degrees or our certifications or our experience, they're going to want to know all that stuff. but we need to get to know them, and they need to get to know us. If you really want to truly create, or ABC, always be connecting and really truly create the clients. Okay. So here's the 5 strategies. I'm going to list them off, then we're going to go into each one. And keep in mind the hell yes clients or type of clients, and I'm definitely the hell no. Strategy number 1, connect. I'll just read them off. Connect. So starting off again, connect, invite, connect deeply, audition, and propose. Connect, invite, connect deeply, audition, and propose. You might not get through all 5 strategies or steps with everyone. In fact, you won't. That's the whole point of this. So let's start with connect. Simply connect with people wherever you are. In the grocery line. And all of this is really a mindset. It's the way of living. Connect with people in the grocery line. If you have kids, connect with people, at their, later this afternoon, I'm going to go, my son's in the playoffs for school soccer. Connect with people at the soccer pitch or the, dance studio. Connect with people at networking events. Connect with people. Most of this is ideally better to do face-to-face, right? Or online interactively, but it can be done also through social media. A lot of these strategies can be done through social media. So the first one is to connect with people. People are everywhere. And you don't know who these people are, or you don't know the story behind them. They might not become clients of yours. It's not about getting clients. It's about finding people that you want to learn more about and connect with authentically. Because here's the thing, you might just connect with someone and you might know someone who could use their services. That's why we do this Connect and Collaborate every Wednesday at 11. It's not about getting business. It's about building relationships. So simply connect with people wherever you are. Show up, be interested. Let them be interesting. You want to hear about them. Ask them how they are doing. If they have a business, how's their business run? Show of hands. Let me see, I have a couple pages. How many of you work in sort of a business, a B2B scape? You deal with businesses versus individual or consumer? Okay, maybe half so or so. It's going to work with both. Okay, meet with people, ask them how they're doing, ask them how their business is. Oh, we have a couple hands up here. Connor. Where did Connor go? You had your hand up.
Sorry, I didn't have my hand up. I was just one of the people that was raising their hands about the B2B.
Sorry. Yin, did you have a question or did you just...
No, I didn't have a question.
No, you did. Yin, how about yourself? Okay, your hand was up from before. Okay. Okay, no worries. Okay, so anyways, going back, just be interested in people. Ask them their business, what's going on. If you're a sporting event or their kids, that sort of thing. Just connect with them. Find out what they do. The more you connect with someone, they will, like asking questions, being interested in someone, they will ask back. And the whole intention here is just to get to know people, because you never know. You don't know who the other person might be. Maybe it's just for your own, maybe you can use their service for, maybe they're a flooring company or a renovation company or a pressure washing company. And you could use that for your own personal services for your house. You just never know. The whole idea is be interested. The interesting part will come when they want it to come. You can connect with people everywhere. Online, Facebook, Instagram. I'm not going to talk about TikTok. I don't do TikTok. But you can connect with people. Trust me, you don't want to see me do TikTok. But you can connect with people everywhere. You put questions on Facebook, you engage with people, you engage with people in their posts, or you put a post out, you engage with people in your posts. Same thing with LinkedIn. It's magic. Connect with people. Everybody wants to feel connected. Everybody wants to feel part of something. I could talk about the connecting side for a long time, but I'm going to move on for the sake of time. Okay, so connect. Now, here's the thing. Once you've connected, you're asking them questions, they're sharing a lot about themselves. Naturally, most people will then ask about you if they don't know you. Then you can quickly explain what you do. But it doesn't matter even if they don't. If they sound like they are someone you want to get to know more, I'm not saying to get a client. Maybe they can become a client. Maybe they know people who can become clients of yours. Maybe you can there's someone that maybe you can just bring into your inner circle and you can refer to someone else. So the second step is to invite. So the first part is just connecting, Facebook, in person, online, offline, wherever it is, and invite them. Just say, hey, I'd love to get to know you further. Would you be interested in a chat? Again, it could be a chat that's in person. It could be a chat just like through Zoom, or even on the phone. Ideally, I love visual. So whether it's in person or over Zoom is great because you can really connect deeper, which is the step number 3. But the second step is just simply invite. Now, here's the other thing. The invitation might not happen right away. So you might meet someone, let's say on Facebook, where you guys or you're commenting on someone's post, okay, or someone sends you a Facebook message or vice versa, and it's just, thanks for the post, or there's someone, like on Instagram, if someone says, well, thanks for following me. Some people have those some people do the automated, I don't even know how to do that. Someone have the automated, appreciate you following me, thank you. Respond back. And maybe you get into a conversation. Maybe it's not the right time. But then, so it might not be the same day. It might be the next day. It might be a week later. Invite them for a chat. Invite them to connect further. Invite them to number 3. Just say, love to get to know you a little bit more. Love to hear more about your business. Again, authentically, being authentic about it all. And set something up. Don't send them necessarily your calendar link. If you can, if they say yes, that'd be great. Say, how's tomorrow at 2:00? Or what works for you this week or what works for you next week? And try to book something right there and then. You can send them, if you have the calendar link, I've done it both ways. If you send them the calendar link, maybe 60% of the time they will book something. 40% of the time they won't. They'll forget about it. It'll get lost in, especially if it's done through like Facebook Messenger or Instagram or something, or email. So if you can book something right away, book it. Then you go to step number 3, which is to connect again, but connect deeper. That's where you really get to know the person. And they will then get to know you. And again, the intention is to just bring people into, this is really what networking is. But networking has been given a bad name over the years. I don't know if anybody remembers, again, I'm dating myself, the Saturday Night Live skit from probably actually the 80s now. It might have been the early, actually, no, it was the 90s with Will Ferrell, and I can't remember who it was, and can't remember the guy's name. And there was the business card, and they were like always like going into bars. They were trying to pick up girls, and just always like, sort of like, bam. It's like going to a networking event. Bam, here's my card. Buy from me. Right? That's not what we do. So we want to connect deeper. Again, being interested. in what they go through, what they're, yes, Raz?
Sorry, Marshall, I'm probably just asking a really dumb question, but I'm struggling with the difference between connected and connect deeply. Surely when you're connecting, you're asking probably the same sort of questions as you would, or is it more an informal sort of, more of a like sit down, having a chat and having a coffee sort of thing?
Yeah, exactly. It's so here I'm connecting with, I mean, I know you, right? But I'm connecting with you. So if we were in a networking thing, I would go maybe offline and say, hey, Raz, you want to chat further? We'd love to get to know you and your business further. Okay, so it's very easy when it's like a networking event. You meet people, and you get sometimes, like, I know the board of trades, they'll send out the email list afterwards of all the people who attended, or if you go to a trade show, you always get bombarded with people afterwards contacting you, trying to set up this and that. But they're trying to do it strictly to get business. I'm not saying to do that. They might not be your hell yes client. But we are, and I hate to overuse this phrase, but we're all in this together. We all need to help and support each other and build our networking circle, our inner circle. And I know many of you, and now just over the years being, very active in Facebook, I have people I can refer people to in a second. Many of you I will never work with personally. I mean, you may never work with me personally. I may work with you, or I may just refer business. But I'm a better person now than I was 2 years ago or a year ago, because I have all these people now in my circle. Layla, you had a question?
Hello.
Hi.
Well, with the connect part, I'm really good. I mean, I don't have problem connecting with people, but when you say invite, it sounds really easy to do, but in the normal life, like, for example, to me, it happened frequently that when it comes to the invite part of the relationship, people don't connect anymore, and you don't want to be like, you don't want to be bothering someone. So I can't find the balance between how to reconnect with that. When you are in person with someone, it's really easy because you can talk and everything. You can share phone numbers and etc. But then when you invite that person,
Yeah.
that person never respond message, it disappeared, and you don't want to invade their space, so you disappears as well, and the connection just died. So that happened to me very often.
So Layla, thank you for that. I'm curious, what business are you in?
I just started with a business this year. I'm importing fruit from Chile.
Oh, very nice.
Yes.
So who would your clients be, or who would you sell it to?
I'm selling to, I'm a wholesale
Okay.
company. So connecting with grocery stores and yeah.
It's interesting. Wow. And you just started this year?
Yes, yes.
Cool. Where are you in? Where do you live? What part of
In Abbotsford.
Oh, you're in Abbotsford. Are you ready for the rain season to start tomorrow?
I never ready for the rain, but yes.
And are you from Chile?
I'm from Chile, yes.
How long have you been in Canada?
5 years.
Oh, what made you come to Canada?
My husband, we had to move because he was hired from a company here in Abbotsford.
Have you been to an Abbotsford Canucks hockey game yet?
Not yet, but
Not
I
yet.
will be soon, I think.
That sounds cool. Well, good on you on starting the business. I would love to have a chat with you offline outside of this group and just learn more about your business.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, definitely.
So that's how you invite.
Thank you.
I mean, I still would. Okay. So
Yeah.
we'll touch base afterwards, but that's how you do it. I'm not looking at you and say, okay, Layla, I'm going to get you as a client. I coach entrepreneurs who've started a business. Oh, I'm going to get you as a client. Because no, first of all, you've only started your business. So you're probably not going to be a client of mine. But I love to meet fun and interesting people. I heard that once from my mentor, and it's true. I love to meet fun and interesting people. And here, especially entrepreneurs, because man, it is hard to run a business. I grew up, my father had a business, my grandfather had a business. People thought we were like royal family because we were business people and we must be like so rich because we owned a business. I'm talking about like my father when I was a kid. Little did they know, right? As my father used to joke, the bank owned his business. I'm not suggesting that's how you operate your business. The point is, it is hard. So personally, I love to get conversations with as many entrepreneurs as possible because it's fascinating to me. And who knows, maybe I know someone who could help you, Layla. Right? In my sign company, I mean, I'm not sure who you're selling to. One of my big clients in my sign company is Kins Market. Right? I don't know if they have all their own farms and whatever, but I'm just saying, you just never know. So the point is, you're not ever annoying people or being, if you come from it authentically, that's it. Like, that's all you need to do. If you pick up the phone, and we all get this, especially like I'm getting calls from the UK, I'm getting calls from Texas. I get calls from Texas at 6 a.m. probably twice a week. Those are spam calls. Maybe the UK is, maybe it's like the royal family calling me. I don't know. But seriously, like that's different. Those are telephone solicitors, they're robocallers or whatever. Those are interrupting your day. Those are interrupting your life. But if you're just meeting people and being interested in them, and then say, hey, if you're interested, let's have a chat. Let's just connect further. And I invite all of you, for those of you that I already know and those of you that I don't know, reach out to me. Let's have a chat. Reach out to each other, have a chat. It is quite easy if you just really come from a place of authenticity. I don't know if that helps. Some people will ghost you. Some people will not be interested. It's just the way it is. And you can tell, the other thing is, you can tell, I'm thinking of a few people in particular, they're not here. You can tell when they want to meet with you, they're inviting you because they want business. Because it's their approach, and you just know. And I've been around the block a few times. I just know. So there are a few people that sort of do the circuit of all the Board of Trades and Chambers of Commerces in the Lower Mainland here in Vancouver. And that's what they do. They show up to one of these, they get the list afterwards, you get a phone call, probably within 24 hours. Hey, it was great seeing you on blah, 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 blah. You up for a coffee? LinkedIn is horrible for that. LinkedIn is horrible for that. You get salespeople all the time trying to get business. We don't want to be those people. You can do it authentically on LinkedIn and just connect with people. It's not a 24-hour get-rich scheme. You're not going to build your business to 7 figures in 2 weeks. I'm not guaranteeing any of that. It's truly authentically creating clients or creating relationships that could create clients for yourself or for other people. Or you might become a client. So connect, invite, connect deeper, really just get to know them. Like Layla, we'll sit down, we'll have a Zoom meeting or maybe an in-person meeting or something, and we'll just chat, talk business. Right? Find out why you started the business. Find out who your kind of hell yes ideal kind of client is. Ian, you had a question?
Hey everyone.
Hey.
Yeah, just I guess less of a question and more maybe just I think when it comes to creating clients, sometimes I find the time that you have to wait is probably the hardest. If you were to suggest the best, what would you suggest as the best way to reduce the anxiety of that waiting time? So I guess I've used the planting the seeds before and waiting for them to grow. And I think, you know, I've noticed there's a 2-year wait that seems to be that I've heard quite a lot lately, that it takes a while to germinate. How do you reduce that anxiety and be okay with constantly connecting, but not necessarily hearing back straight away?
Okay, great question. How many of you feel that way? Like, it'd be great if everything was like instant, right? It'd be great. Problem is, we don't live, that's Amazon, right? Amazon's the instant. I always say my kids grew up in this Amazon.now world. Everything is instant. Google, everything, information is instant. Here's the deal with that. And it's a great comment and question. It does take time. And the more you can connect with people, I have to look it up and see if I can actually find out who said it. But someone said, I heard this years ago, and this could be true for everyone in this room right now. People that you actually connect with deeper, you know, step 3. That people who you meet, it could take up to, I think it was 3 or 4 years to come full circle and something actually happens with that relationship. You might bump into them again 3 or 4 years later. There's 6 degrees of separation and sort of like things come back and just something happens. I can't remember where I read it, but it's interesting. It might take time. I've had clients that I've actually started to work with that met me 2016, 6 years ago when I first started the Business Inner Circle Facebook group. And it took about 4 years for them to connect deeply and really feel like that now is the time. So it's a matter of connecting with as many people as you can with like realistically. And if you do it consistently, it's all about being consistent. And I know you're stuffy and I know what you do. And the more consistent, and you're awesome. And the more consistent you and everyone can become with connecting with people, giving to people, connecting deeply with people, right? The more people will talk about you, share you, hire you, so on and so forth. But it goes back to that whole also, like knowing who that hell yes type of client is. Because at some point, if you and I get off the Zoom, we get in our own Zoom, we start talking about our businesses. You might not be an ideal client for me. I might not be an ideal client for you. But if I know who your ideal client is, it's a lot easier then for me to say, oh my God, you need help with lead generation or admin work or whatever. You got to talk to Ian because you got to say yes. I went through that yes in for you. That's our company. Ron, you had a question?
So just wanted to add a slight point. First of all, you were saying earlier about referrals. So I did get an inquiry from a referral you sent for photos. So I meant to email you and thank you for that. Forgot. But nonetheless, yeah, definitely. The whole thing about knowing someone that you can refer to, work with clients to, it's a big thing in Vancouver because I refer a lot of people to people as well. And it's whoever's top of mind that I think is a good fit. So it's a lot of recency. Like I'm referring to people. If someone I met 5 years ago, if I met someone else more recent who I think is capable of doing the same job, I might refer to a more recent person, not the one from 5 years ago. So if you keep up the relationships, there's some recency and fresh and keeping it warm. That's important.
Excellent point. Thank you. Yep.
And as well, I actually like to do that. So I'm naturally curious about people, and I like to know. So part of my sales process, I like to find out more about the other business company or person, and try to give them advice and offer whatever I can in the meeting. Okay, if they need my help, then that'd be great. If not, that's fine too. But one time, or not one time, but one thing that could happen if I'm super interested, because there are some businesses that I naturally am very interested in anyway, because it could be artistic, it could be something that I just find fascinating. So sometimes I'm too interested in them, so I just ask questions one after another, and in the end, sometimes it comes off as if I'm interviewing, or I can even say sometimes it's like I'm interrogating them with a barrage of questions. So like I love creating rapport, and I try to get rapport, but sometimes that will break rapport when they feel like all of a sudden they're being interrogated, like you're a police officer asking them, why they parked on the side of the road or something, right? So that's something to sort of be careful for, or try to transition to ask for a meeting or some sort of exchange for a topic, so it doesn't seem like that.
Right. No, great point. And actually, Ron, you're a good example. I think I met you. We did a panel together. God, it must have been like 6. You probably don't. I don't know if you even remember it. We spoke at a meetup panel like 7 years ago, maybe 8 years ago, probably.
Yeah.
Right. And we've stayed connected on Facebook. So, and I've referred you to several people. But going back to for Yin, I mean, there's anxiety within the sales process, for sure. But if you change the way you look at it, right, and just connect with as many people as you can and be of service to as many people as you can, it's going to come back to you if you're consistent about it and authentic about it. This is what I truly believe. It's the way it is. So why I've managed to be in business for 28 years. Billy, you have a question or comment?
Yeah, I do have a comment. Thanks, Masha. Hi, everyone. I do want to acknowledge something. Maybe it's the elephant in the room. I think most of us are too busy to be having too many chats with one-on-one people and nothing else to do except to get to know each other. And so I'm just cautious about, sure, we're going to connect. I mean, I know half of the people in the Zoom room right now, we've either had one-on-ones online or at coffee. And it's not that I don't want to invest that time with each other. It makes me feel so good when I see each one of them and I go, oh, hi, it's so nice to see you here. But we have to balance that, and I love what Yin said, in that if it's going to take 5 years to get a client, I better do something for the next 5 years to make some money.
Right.
We're all in business to make money. But as we get to know people, I love the fact that whether or not it's the silver lining of COVID, it's actually pushed us in a way to get more efficient with getting to know each other. And so I'm all about networking events where we can get to know more people at one time, instead of, imagine if I try and make time to get to know all 26 of you, 25 of you, it's just time consuming that none of us actually really has, but we want to balance it. We want to make some time to get to know one another and to learn what each other does and become referral partners or maybe become clients of one another. But I just had to acknowledge that, Marshall, because it's something that I suspect people are thinking like, shit, man, I don't have time for that. But we have to make some time, but not too much time.
Well, love it. Thank you. So here's the thing. It doesn't all have to be about, I'm not suggesting you connect and have these Zoom or whatever sessions, like 10 of them a day. That's crazy, right? No, we have businesses to run. This is just one strategy. It's a big strategy. You can do this online as well. And you could do it through paid advertising as well. Okay, and that can be for a whole other conversation, but you can connect with people. It's harder and it will cost money. That's the trade-off. But you can connect with people through Facebook posts or Instagram posts. If you are being interested, not interesting, if you are touching them and what their pain points are, or resonating with them, they're going to want, or even in the feedbacks, in the comment section of those posts, that's where the magic can happen. I'm not just saying it's all through picking up the phone or going to networking events, because we only have so many hours in a day. We all have the same amount of hours in a day. I don't care if you have 25 kids or you have one kid or no kids, or one business or 20 businesses. Some people manage to run 20 businesses and have all these kids, and some people say they struggle with no kids and one business. We all have the same number of hours. It's what we do with the hours. So you could do stuff online. The main thing is, I'm not saying to have frivolous chats and talk about the weather. Talking about, you can make these chats, you want to be intentional. You want to be of service. You want to make it worth your time and their time. Okay, and that's where we get to the next stage. And I'm going to go to Lee right now, and then I'll go to the next stage, which is audition. Over to you, Lee.
Real quick, because I don't want to take away the time, but for those in the group that know me, and we're in different groups and we're in some girl gangs, but that's all I'm going to say about that. We're going to get jackets soon, by the way, Marshall. So one of the reasons I'm relaunching my business, for those who don't know, so I had a business and I kind of, stuff happened, COVID happened, blah, blah. I'm here again, started from the bottom. Now I'm here. So I'm relaunching. And one of the things that came up in terms of my lessons learned was I wasn't spending enough time on those connections, and chased a lot of stuff. So while I respect everyone's comments and their, opinions on that, one of the things I've learned from Marshall is time blocking. So I actually have a time block for connections, and I spend that hour reaching out to certain people, specifically trying to get people into my Facebook group who are my ideal client. And I usually have 2 questions when I get them on just a quick chat, whether it's on a Zoom or a phone call or on a messenger. I've developed 2 questions that I use for them. It's very quick. It's sometimes less than 6-7 minutes, and I gather what information I need, but I cannot tell you how many people I've referred to other people because that person, like, oh, wait a second. Like, for example, spending the time connecting, if you don't have that time for those follow-ups, Yin's company, who does VA services, would be great to hire, right, Yin? So anyway, I'm just saying I value connections, like the time spent on connections, because it was one of the reasons my business failed in the past. So
Awesome.
So now it's a big deal. It's a big deal for me. So
thank you. And here's, thank you. I appreciate that. And here's the thing. You can go to all these networking events. We need to be intentional with our time. Okay. But this, again, being intentional, see, a lot of these networking events, people go to get clients, to get referrals. Okay. And if you're doing that and it's working for you, good on you. Great. But there is really another way. If it's not working for you, or it feels yucky to you, because everyone at these, like, I'm talking about, like, I've been part of BNI. BNI is awesome for certain industries, so I'm not knocking it. But BNI is all about referrals, and you have to give referrals, and sometimes you're giving referrals to people, like an insurance broker that might be horrible, and insurance brokers in your personal life outside of BNI, but you have to give referrals. So it's a structure, and it can really, really work for certain people. That's fine. But when you just get out there, be intentional. If you're going to go to a networking event, industry, or structured like a BNI or a Connect and Collaborate, be intentional. And being intentional, just, who can I meet today? Who can I meet today and create an amazing connection with, maybe relationship, maybe they can become a client, maybe I can do business with them, vice versa, or I can refer. Or maybe we can just support each other. But yes, we all do need to make money. And I know everybody, you want to speed it up. I have to speed it up too, because we're 26 after, but you want to speed it up, and you want to do this, and you want to do that, and you want to get money in. There are other ways. You could do paid advertising. You could do that for sure. But the more you are intentional, the more you know who your ideal client is, or your dream client, or your hell yes client, and you can explain and express what you do, how you can help them once you've gotten to know someone, because people are going to want to know, well, if I'm going to refer you, what do I say? The more you can do all of that, and that's for a whole other conversation, the more you will have, the better your conversations will go with a potential prospect. which brings us to the fourth step, which is to audition them, which is really part of the third step. Because if you believe, sorry, not if you believe, while you're connecting deeper, you're auditioning them. It is an audition. You're connecting deeply with them authentically, and you're auditioning them. Can I help them? Or is there someone I know that can help them? Or are they a good referral partner? Can I refer them to someone? Or maybe they're just part of my inner circle. You're auditioning them for all of this. And if you think that they are a hell yes type of client for you, just from what you know, and you've been interested in them, and you've asked them questions, and they've shared their pain points, and you really truly believe you can help them, then you can go to the final step, which is to propose. And the proposal is simply almost like another invitation. And most of the time, if they really believe that you can help them, because they're going to be asking you, the more interested in you are, and here's the thing, the more you are interested in them, they will be interested in you. And if they believe you can help them, most of the time, they are going to say, how can we work together? Or what's your prices? What's your services? I'd like to know more. And that's when you can say, hey, I'd love to chat more about that with you. Why don't we set up another time? Or you could do it right there and say, this is how we work together. This is my services. This is what it costs, so on and so forth. It might take a little bit more time and it might not. But if they are a hell yes client for you, that's where you can propose, or they will propose to you, which would be great. If they are not, then maybe they're now part of your circle. And you can refer business to them. They can refer business back. You can support them. They can support you. Or the time is just not the right time, maybe. So maybe you don't feel they're at the right point to propose right now. It might be down the road. Okay, so I'm up against the clock here. I can stay a little bit longer, but I know some people need to jump off. So that's basically the 5. I'm going to get into this little gift thing here in a second, but connect, invite, connect really deeply. Audition while you're connecting with them deeply. And I'm not saying auditioning just to become a client of yours, just auditioning. Do you want to continue this conversation further? Can you help them? Can they help you? Do you know people who could help them? Or do you know people they can help? They can become a strategic partner for you. They can be a collaboration partner, an accountability partner. You never know. You would be surprised. Okay, any questions on any of this so far? Okay, I can see after if you guys do have questions, the gift I'm going to mention to you is simple, as for all of you who are watching the replay, obviously, as well, and only you guys and gals who've signed up for the workshop. In November, I am running a 4-week, it is a special group program. It's going to be on Mondays at 11 o'clock Pacific, and it is it's called Accelerator, and it's basically an accountability program, accountability group, 1 hour each week. And we are going to basically help you build habits over the 4 weeks to finish this year strong and really prepare for 2023 now. So you're not waiting for the end of December or beginning of January. So if you're interested in that, reach out to me. The deal, it's offered to everyone. The regular price is $650 Canadian for other people. For y'all, people who are here at the workshop or watching the replay, you'll get it for just $495. And if you actually are interested, you can just reach out. We can discuss further, see if it's a fit. If not, that's fine. It is a small group. It'll start on November 21st. But if you message me before Sunday, you'll get another $50 off. So then it'd be like whatever that is, $445. Sunday, October 23rd, that is. And it's gonna be awesome. It's like our Create for those of you who've done Create, but sort of compacted in 1 4-week. Instead of 8 weeks, it's 4 weeks, but it's really strictly action steps, accountability, traction, finishing the year off strong, starting 2023. Sounds like Tweety Bird. 2023 off strong. Are there any questions on creating clients. Gang, first of all, thank you for coming. Secondly, it's not an overnight thing. There are other strategies. I'm not saying this is the only way to fill your funnel. If you want to talk funnels, you can do it online, you could do it offline. It might be different for some of your services, but I'm looking around the room for everyone that I know here. And this can be very, very powerful for you. It's just connecting. People need to know if you are really good. Here's the thing, and I didn't say this at the beginning. If you suck at what you do, forget it. But I don't think you probably do, but I don't know all of you. If you really believe you're good at what you do, and you can make a difference for people, organizations, companies, what have you, you need to connect with as many people as possible in those areas. And connect with people, find out and make sure that they know what you do, but not by being interesting. There's a difference. People will ask you about yourself, but you need to give. It's like that, going back to BNI, givers gain. Give your time. Have a 15, 20-minute chat. Just be interested in someone. They will ask you about yourself. All right. Thank you very much. It is 12:33. If there's any questions, I can stay for a few minutes. You can ask the questions, or you can challenge me on this as well. I'm good to stay. Otherwise, if there's no questions, then again, if you want to message me by Sunday, you can get it for 4:45 if it's of interest. If not, no problem. Thank you very much for joining, and come out to Connect and Collaborate, 11 o'clock every Wednesday, and just connect further with other amazing business owners. All right, take care, everyone. Thank you for attending.